sick of boring meetings? According to surveys done, 15% of organization meetings are spent on unproductive meetings. Unproductive meetings are estimated to waste over $37 billion in a year. Even though workers are known to spend an average of 4 hours a week to prepare for a small meeting, executives consider 67% of the meetings are failures. And when surveys are conducted on the effectiveness of the meetings, 92% of the people admitted to multitasking during meetings. 69% admitted they got bored and started to do something else like surfing the net. And some even slept through the meetings, especially if they are online. Meetings can be boring for a number of reasons. Perhaps the meeting was running for too long, or the participants come in totally unprepared for the meetings. One person may talk for the entire meeting without anybody being able to input anything throughout the conversation. Meetings run for too long. Meetings are irrelevant to some of the attendees in the meeting. The meeting has taken a left turn and completely went off topic. But don't worry, I have 3 proven habits that can help you rescue your boring meetings. The 40-20-40 rule. It's a simple framework that helps you plan, run, and follow up on meetings. Part 1 is the big portion. 40% of your time should be spent on preparation work. Write a clear agenda for the meeting. Is this meeting for information sharing? Or is it a meeting for problem solving together? Or is it a meeting for decision making? Without an agenda, it would be like turning up for a dinner without a menu. What are you gonna eat for dinner? You don't know. Nobody's preparing it because there's no chef, there's no ingredients. Basically, you eat nothing because you're not prepared. Not only does having an agenda set the expectations, but it reduces the chances of going through irrelevant topics. Studies have shown by having an agenda in a meeting would cut meeting time by half. Yes, half. That means the other half of the meeting can be spent on coffee breaks or doing more important stuff. So as the host of the meeting, send the agenda up front so your participants would know what to prepare before the meeting. For example, if someone is presenting, then you probably want to send them a quick note to let them know, hey, you are on the agenda to present Project Z. So in this meeting, could you prepare what are the current status updates, what are the challenges that you face, and what are the next steps. This makes sure that your participants are ready and they're bringing their A game to the meeting. That you won't have a situation like they just woke up from a nap. I'm not sure. I gotta check with my other colleague or the other department. You won't have issues like this when you are clear on your agenda and your participants are well prepared when they come into the meeting. And there's another thing on having pre-alignment meetings. Sometimes in tough meetings, if you do have some certainty in the direction that you want to go with this decision, then perhaps you want to pre-align with certain key parties prior to the meeting, discussing with them some topics that they are unsure, that they need more clarification, more certainty, and all these doubts can be clarified prior to the meeting so that when they come into the meeting, majority of the participants would already have certain idea what is going to happen next, what kind of direction the team is going to take. Want a pro tip? Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, demands thorough preparation. He holds participants accountable with sharp follow-through questions. If you are not well prepared, he's certainly not impressed. According to Musk, he says the worst thing that you can do in a meeting is waste everybody's time. Let's talk about part 2, Part 2 represents 20% of the meeting, which is basically the engagement of everyone during the session itself. This is where the magic or the nightmare happens. So the first rule is to always be on time, because we need to respect everybody that is attending this meeting. I remember in the past when I was in Japan, the meeting was at 8 a.m. The moment the clock strikes 8, the door opens and everyone comes into the room. That is how punctual Japanese are to their meetings. And always end the meeting on schedule, because you never know. The participants in your meeting may have another meeting waiting for them. And for new team members, they might be shy, they might be unsure. So what you need to do as the host of the meeting is to encourage them. Encourage them to contribute to the meeting by asking questions, offering their perspective, or build on top of other people's points. That way, your new team members can slowly integrate to your team. A 15 minutes meeting targeting all the key action and points that's supposed to be discussed is way more effective than having a long, lengthy one without a conclusion. In fact, the research from MIT shows that people's attention starts to drop after 18 minutes through the meeting discussion. Another thing I like to do as the host of the meeting is to flesh out discussion points that are being discussed during the meeting. When you share your screen that details the points taken, everybody can see what was the discussion points that were discussed. Are they accurate to the T? It is visible to everyone. And if there's any doubts, any misalignment, it can be sorted out immediately. And there will be no room for feedback that the meeting notes were not precise. Part 3 represents 40% of the meeting itself. This is where we get real. We have documented all the points out there, and it's time to send up the summary right after the meeting. As the host of the meeting, with these meeting minutes sent out, the meeting minutes should detail what was decided, who is going to follow up on those actions, by what date should it be completed. Make sure that your meeting minutes are not fake and everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Studies show that 75% of the people forget half of the things that were said during the meeting. Thus, the importance of having meeting minutes. Make sure that no one leaves the meeting asking themselves, hey, what was it that we discussed again? Because if there are no minutes sent out, 2 weeks later, nobody can really remember what was agreed and mentioned before. And even if you record the meeting, not everybody is going to go through the meeting recording minute by minute just to detect certain discussion points that were discussed. So follow up ensures that we don't go in circles. We know that the meeting actually produces a result at the end of the day, and there's no room for backing down whatever we have agreed. So let's go through a real-life example of the 40-20-40 rule. Let's say your department wants to do a selection for a new software to replace your legacy software. And before the meeting, you chat with several key team members. Team members that you know have concerns in their mind. Maybe one of the team members are concerned about the compatibility of the software. Another team member may be concerned on the integration part of the software. Another team member may be concerned on the cost of implementing this software, the licensing. So you may want to spend some time pre-aligning with your team members, addressing the concerns one by one before the meeting, so that when the meeting rolls out, most of your issues have been ironed out. You will not have a situation where there are arguments going to and fro between the team members during that meeting, which takes a lot of time and may drag the meeting outcome. Instead, if you have ironed out all these issues with all the pre-alignment meetings, your meeting, when it happens, actually is used to discuss about the decisions about the solutioning that needs to happen with this new selection of the software. That is what I call having an effective meeting where you get straight to the point with some decisions and you can end the meeting quick and fast. Bonus tip. This is one of the things to supercharge your meetings. It is very common to find a meeting without a leader. The host of the meeting suddenly disappears or could not make it for a meeting, or the host just organizes the meeting but keeps quiet in the background. What happens? There should be some kind of understanding who will be the host of the meeting. And if the host of the meeting is not able to attend, then a substitute should be appointed to lead the meeting. And as the host of the meeting, your job is to make sure that the meeting doesn't derail off topic from the key points that you're supposed to discuss in the meeting. If it does, your job as the host is to lead everyone back to the path. Secondly, keep your meetings on time. Don't have a marathon meeting. Perhaps you have a very big project discussion that is happening and there are lots of points to be discussed. You probably want to chop the meeting into several meetings within a week or across the month. And that way you will have more effective meetings, with each meeting addressing subcategories of the project. A concise 15 minutes meeting is way more effective than a 2-hour meeting. Try out these strategies in your next meeting and watch the magic happens. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell for more tips. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.